5 minutes. So, here's the thing with UCF. One of their best players, last year, he's the one who's got the function bump. Hey, Claire! 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 How do you pronounce 23?
Placentia.
That's what I thought.
Do you have players to watch?
Yeah, well, I'll do that and you can do theirs.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, like usually our structure is like we introduce the story, talk to we'll do your players to watch.
Yeah. We're good. Whatever you want. I'll follow your lead. I'm in. Let's go. You ready?
Live from Coral Springs, Florida.
1 year.
It's the Panthers IceDen, host of the College Hockey South Men's Division III quarterfinal playoffs, presented by Visit Fort Lauderdale. Hi, everybody. So happy to welcome you ringside to the stadium sheet. Devin Serra alongside Louis DiPaolo for this number 10 UCF matchup with the number 1 seeded Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Now, Louis, we know how good Middle Tennessee is. Number 2 team in the country. They have all the prowess going to nationals. Meanwhile, this UCF team has had a spark. Playing the M2 teams to finish the regular season, they beat down Alabama 9-2 yesterday to advance, and this sets up a great matchup.
UCF has had a terrific second semester, Devin. They had a couple new players come in. Unfortunately, one of them got hurt, seriously hurt yesterday. That's Aiden Lasky. He's not with the team. He's actually still in the hospital. Want to give credit to the crack staff here who noticed there was a serious injury, got him in. Aiden, if you're watching in the hospital, God bless you, bud. We're all with you. But they picked up the second semester. They played the last 4 games coming into this tournament against the Division II Florida Gators and the Division II FAU Owls that you mentioned. They were in every game, had the lead a couple of times. Maybe just a little inexperience kept them from being on the victorious side, but they are playing their best hockey this season right now.
And 1-goal games in both of those, and had it not been for a last-second goal by Florida to force overtime and then win, UCF might have knocked off one of those teams. And talking about both sides, you know, Middle Tennessee, they have all of the talent scoring. Pick your number from, you know, Denmumbrum to Landers to Papinetti. For that side, who do you watch? And then UCF, how do they match them offensively?
Well, for UCF, I think the key is going to be in the beginning of the game because the defense has got to set the tone. excuse me, I'm losing my headset. They don't want to get behind early, and I think you're going to see the top 4 defensemen for UCF. They're going to get a lot of ice time. They're going to start Renner and Flanagan. Those are their big guns. But 1 in 1A with their defense is Dre and Chris Hill, grad student. Now, unlike the Middle Tennessee team that has 7 grad students, UCF only has 1, and that grad student is Chris Hill. But those 4 guys, to me, are key to this whole game. If they can match lines and stay out with the big guns of MTSU, I think they got a chance and to extend the game into the 3rd period.
Chris Brewster prides himself on matching the speed and intensity, most importantly. Some guys for UCF obviously there. And you talked about some of those keys. They have got to be involved defensively. They have got to help out Andrew Cass, we presume to be starting. But what are some keys you're looking for on both sides for a competitive contest?
To me, I think Middle Tennessee hasn't played in 2 weeks. They're going to come out. They're going to play their game regardless, right? They're going to roll their lines. They're going to keep coming. JJ's a great coach. They're going to do what they do best. No need to change anything. For UCF, it's more of a welcome to the party, right? So the welcome to the party is let's get the puck deep. Let's not get caught and give up odd man rushes. That's a 5-man defensive game, not just the 2 back there. And Cass is getting the start again tonight for UCF. He's very consistent. He's a senior from Peabody, Mass. He should have a good game back there. But it's going to take all 20 guys for them to come out of here with victorious tonight.
The great Louis DiPaolo, of course, follows UCF hockey really the entire conference, and you know exactly what it takes for UCF to be with a #1 team. Was #1 until the last rankings when Calvin jumped this Middle Tennessee team. A lot of people don't know what this Middle Tennessee team will be at Nationals, but we know that they can score 1 through 4. And Aiden Kopech, who's getting first-team reps in goal, is just as good. We're getting ready for the starting lineups in just about 30 seconds. The horn will go. And in the meantime, Connor Stein down rinkside, I believe, has a headset on. We'll see if he's available. Connor, are you with us down there?
Maybe not.
Okay, we'll see him at the intermission regardless. But getting ready for this one. I'd like to see UCF right to left. Middle Tennessee in their whites. The home team, the #1 seed, their first game. They had a bye to this round after being the #1 team. That was determined by national ranking. A little bit different in college hockey standings than you've seen in previous years. UCF, a better team than the #10 seed. They are playing lights out hockey the last couple weeks, and you saw that in a 9-2 triumphant victory. 2 different hat tricks against Alabama. Let's turn to ringside for the announcement of the starting lines and the playing of the national anthem.
Well, while we're waiting for the national anthem, a couple of interesting behind-the-scenes stories. College Hockey South All-Stars that went to France. 2 from UCF, a few here from from Middle Tennessee State. My bad, I saw the blue. But friends across the pond, foes tonight.
Kind of like the Olympics.
Yes, exactly.
Our official stand of Michigan doing a great job running the PA. Great volunteer staff for Florida Atlantic as both teams at their respective ends of the ice. Starting netminders for both sides. First, the visiting UCF Knights, number 10 seed. They turn to Andrew Cash, senior netminder. 8-6-1-1, 4.04 goals against average, .886 save percentage with a shutout to his name. Middle Tennessee turns to Aiden Kopech, a senior in his right, 7-4-0, 3.36 goals against average, .894 save percentage, and 1 shutout, Lewis.
Devin, while we're quoting stats, there's some staggering numbers. You can start and end almost with Siciliano. He's got 57 points in 23 games, the grad student from Henderson, Tennessee. And it's not lopsided. It's 30 goals, 27 assists. They've got a lot of balance on there. Chunch is running at 23-23. He was with us in France as well. Just terrific balance. It should be an absolute barn burner of a game. Could be a championship game right here in front of us.
That's a scary sight for any M3 teams trying to scout and watch this Middle Tennessee team before you see them at Nationals. But here we go. Middle Tennessee from left to right in their white and blue sweaters. UCF in the black night sweaters. Here we go. Quarterfinals from College Hockey South playoffs underway. The first dump in by UCF towards Aiden Kopech gets a stoppage for Kevin Flanagan just from Plantation down the road, 20 minutes away.
Yeah, there's a few guys from Broward County here. Plantation represented well, Pembroke Pines, Renner. That's actually a Plantation pairing right there with Renner and Flanagan.
Salar off the draw, tries to get one towards the net. It comes back up to the point. Caught by Renner, stolen by a number. Chonchikov comes in, Siciliano scores! First shot, first goal, 20 seconds in.
Unbelievable play. It's a puck that Cass would want to have back for sure. Odd man rush, things that cannot happen for this UCF team. They come down, dump the puck right off the face-off. A 3-on-2 opportunity. They don't even make a pass, and the man we just talked about, Siciliano, not a difficult shot, just misplayed by Cass. 1-0 Blue Raiders.
Make that point number 58 and goal 31 for Matthew Siciliano. So strong. Can't have that, but a tough start for UCF. They got to get right back to work. Salar to the offensive zone, trying to fight against Lyndon Palmer. Palmer cuts it free. The leader, emotional, strong, right wing, has a man in the middle, tries to feed it towards the net. Less than confident was Cass, but he gets the quick whistle from the right pad, Lewis. That is tough. We know goaltenders like to get settled in games like this, and he needs to get settled in the first minute.
They do have two goaltenders that are very close. They decided to go with Cass. He's been consistent all the time, all year. But you're right, you give up that first goal in a game like this, nerves a factor right now.
Face off from the half boards, fights for it deeper. First man there, taken away. Here comes a rush for Joseph Kovac, freshman out of Middlebury, Connecticut. Deeper to the zone, met at that spot by Anthony Banis. They fight for it with Brennan Ogle. Up top to the point, sends one towards the net, got blocked down in front from Ogle. And that springs the other way. That forward, right wing. Good poke check following him up from Gaffiatulin. Colin Jackson cleared up but not out. Held on at the point by Schenk. They'll get turned around with DeMumbrum. A battle behind the goal. Pavanka out of Gainesville. Been so good as of late, this sophomore. The second half has been a primordial, I guess, defenseman. They've needed to be stable on that blue line.
Good little save there off the pads for Cass. Glove save, but misplayed it. I was just going to say maybe that'll give him his confidence back, but he misplayed an easy puck right there.
Team took it out to neutral ice, and it was stolen back by Ogle. The dump and change for him to go off. It'll be chased in after by Kovac. Rimmed it up the boards. Held at that far side by Placentia. Defenseman. Cass thought about playing it, thought better of it, just left it for Robert Renner. One of your players to watch, Lewis, among the couple for UCF. Down 1-0 earlier, 20 seconds in. Matthew Siciliano, assist unofficially from Chunchikov. Knights couldn't hold the blue line. They'll steal it back, though, from Samuel Payne. Look out, slot area up for grabs, and Kevin Flanagan made a nice play. At the other wing, Robert Renner through the crease, cross ice. Stick battle, Yuli Lima gets in there. Help coming from Yesnak from Middle Tennessee. Backing up to it is Papanetti, taken down to the boards, and that's going to be a penalty.
Hopefully he's okay. Hit from behind. He went into the boards face first. It's an easy call. He's not a dirty player, but glad to see Middle Tennessee's class. Who was that? Papanetti, right?
I believe so. Yeah, Papanetti, and then Santiago laid the hit. He's going to the box for 2 minutes.
No, it was Placencio. My bad.
Copy that. Thank you. So Placencio doesn't look any worse for wear, but he's going to get looked at regardless. Helmet off on this bench.
Yeah, great training staff here. So power play opportunity for the Raiders. Not the start the Knights were looking for.
This is a power play 1 unit that head coach J.J. Murray likes to fly. They are very fast, basically a north to south unit, but they can score. Pretty much they'll play the whole time. Siciliano, Olgo, guys like Chunchikov and Demombrum. And the face-off won by the Knights. Good job by Chris Hill to get there first. And it's down the length of the ice to start. Out of the net, Kopech backs it up there for Palmer. The captain for Middle Tennessee will wait for numbers. They'll peel out from the wing. Dropped by Siciliano. Demombrum moves it for Palmer at the logo. Cut off by Jacob Fuller. Demombrum gets inside of the right dots. Slides it up to Palmer. He'll left side it. Bring it to his opposite D-man. Siciliano playing there forward. From the low slot. Tip shots through. The rebound. Scores! Tommy Chunchikov right on the doorstep. And on the power play like that, it's 2-0 MTSU.
Terrific start for this Blue Raiders team. Taking advantage of their opportunities. Chunch with the goal on the rebound. The shot came in from the point. Comes out on a tough angle shot. He gets that behind Cass, who is definitely nervous right now. Still plenty of time left, 16:43, but you got to stop the bleeding pretty quick, or if this Blue Raiders team gets out in front of you, it's going to be a tough battle.
Tommy Chunchikov, goal number 24 on a deep roster. Lewis mentioned it in pregame. They have multiple goal scorers in the 20-plus range, but it's a deep roster that likes to go to their top guys when available. See it right there. 2-0 early in this quarterfinal game. Knights got to get calmed down. Look out. Big blow. Papanetti just laid the lumber on Jacob Fuller.
Demombrum with the assist on that power play.
And it's iced by UCF.
So Santiago's penalty, very costly right now. After a very slow start by this Knights team, they're going to have to figure this out quickly. Very impressed with the transition game of this Middle Tennessee team. Puck goes in. As soon as they get the puck, everybody just takes off and moves. And you'll see them send the forward high, trying to get behind the UCF defense.
And when the faceoff drawn, it trickles in. It'll be melted down by Cass, so we'll do it again. And so much of this north-south game, if you're UCF, how many times have you seen that from them defensively where they're able to prevent that high forward from trailing in on the play?
You know, the defense has been solid all year. They're an experienced group.
Look out. Oh, nearly a bouncing puck. Was right on the doorstep for Landers that time. Just took one hop under his blade. Here's Schenk at the point. UCF trying to hold on for dear life. First 5 minutes, it's been all Middle Tennessee with the possession. Robert Renner, coolly moves it for Joshua Shimoni out of Pembroke Pines.
Just up the street.
Look out. Near break, 2-on-1, stopping on a dime. Nice passing move, but a better intercept by the alternate captain, Renner. Knights move it through the middle all alone as they're changing. A nice follow-up there from Flanagan. After it is Banis for the Blue Raiders. Losing his footing there was Yesnak in the far corner. They move it up anyway. Once again, getting the way was Renner. After it, though, deeper to the Knights zone is Houst. He'll get fought for. Reaching forward is Gaffia-Toolin. Once, twice, checked to the boards by Jackson. Held onside for Suss. Help coming from House once more. Presumptuous third line out there for Middle Tennessee. Gaffia-Toolin from the boards. Lima's not able to control. And a bouncing puck will be handled by Jackson back to reset. Knights, Gaffia-Toolin through the middle. Olgo takes away the stick. of Beckham Bufart, and that's going to draw a penalty. There goes Cass to the bench. So delayed call. Once it's touched by Ogle here, it will become a Knights power play.
So an opportunity now for the Knights to cut the lead in half. Power play one will be out there with Fuller. The missing link right now is going to be Lasky, but I believe they're going to move Selar up to that front line.
And without Lasky, as you mentioned, unfortunately injured yesterday, they have a little bit of different shakeups to make, but for the most part, these are the guys that can and have scored on their man advantages this year. Plus goal differential in that regard. They are a very good power play. Look out.
It's up.
Puck is coming right to
Sorry.
assistant coach. You're good. Mark Haverstrom for FAU. Actually, that's Mark Renner.
Mark Renner.
Yeah, Mark Renner. Good to
He's
see him
caught
in
worse
attendance.
than that is Fort Lauderdale PD.
Yeah. He's an official. Got to meet Matthew Kachuk at, what's that place called? Dive bar in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah.
Elbow Room.
Elbow Room.
He's played iconic by the Panthers back-to-back cups, but it's been there for, it feels like 100 years.
Yes.
Offside. Short-handed was Chunchikov.
Are you calling me old? I went to high school here.
I didn't say it that.
I went to high school
I
here.
didn't say it.
And
I
it
mean,
was around then, and it was old then.
they've got cameras in that place. It looks like it was made in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
But a heck of a place to watch a hockey game, especially the Olympics. Good to see Mark Renner in attendance. FAU took down Florida 7-4 last night, and the first of their 2 games in M2 play before they potentially could meet Tampa, who plays Florida tonight. With a win, Florida would all but be eliminated, and that would set up some action. Now a good dump by Middle Tennessee. What do you see, Lewis?
No movement right now on the UCF power play. Now they're coming back and they're starting to move to spread it out. There was nowhere to go on that dump and on the blue line.
Joseph Dre up to Flanagan at the point, slide it right side, a lane to shoot if they want it. Good save by Kopech. Right, another chance comes through, and trying to get on the doorstep, Fuller could not jam it home. Flanagan, 2 good looks. Joseph Dre pocketed by Siciliano. Once more they'll send it in. Kopech the rebound given up, and unable to grab it there was Fuller. Another reset. Flanagan, good power play movement. Left side, Kopech's got it, and that one will get the whistle for.
48 seconds left. Best flurry for UCF so far. Robert Renner, terrific at the D, getting the puck to the net, making sure it doesn't get blocked, cause all kinds of traffic with the big fella JT Fuller in front. Now they're going to send out the second line. They got number 26. He is a first semester, first-year player. Javier Dode out there. Selar's going to captain this power play.
I'm talking to Chris Brewster. Look out, shorthanded. Here comes Palmer. He's got room. I'll just give it back up to Devere Dowd, who you mentioned is a new addition. Chris Brewster feels really good about him, and unfortunately what happened to Lasky, he felt so good about that freshman coming the second half. Really brought some great goal scoring, but Dowd is a hard-working player in his own right. This one's gloved down and handled by Thomas Solar. Jacksonville, Florida, he calls home. Moves, 22nd to go in the UCF power play. It stood up and cleared out of the zone by the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, Lima. Cass had to be ready, shorthanded. DeMumbrum all over him. Solar takes over. He'll enter. Tried to send one towards the net. Might have been redirected. Up the boards. Solar steers it away, but the Blue Raiders are out.
So good penalty kill for the Blue Raiders. This UCF Knights team had a couple of chances, and we got an icing call coming up. Had a couple of really good chances. Good job by Kopech in the net for this team. And we're going to have a face-off to the left of Cass. Looks like he's settling down a little bit.
And Andrew Cass, such a good netminder, product out of Peabody, Massachusetts. Had a solid season a year ago, maybe not to his standard, but to this year, better numbers. 3.84 goals against average he was for most of the year, and then clipped up to 4.0 just at the very end. He wears his heart on his sleeve, a very emotional guy. It's such a good shot by Yesnak and a better glove stop, and like you said, that's
now
a
he's
confidence
shaking his
nod,
head.
yeah.
Now he's feeling it. Now he's getting the puck going. I talked earlier with Coach Brewster, and then you and I were talking. I thought the key to the game for UCF is a good start. They didn't get off to a good start, but the last few minutes they've settled into the game.
It's all about the ebbs and flows and managing. You know, they were able to bounce back from FAU goals in quite a hurry when we saw them 2 weekends ago from Boca Ice Center. Middle Tennessee, though, they are a different animal, especially in a playoff game. Here's Armando Santiago at the red line. Sent in by Suss. They'll jam it free to the middle. Nobody home except a night sweater out in front. Good job by Justin Sterling. Another redirection. Flanagan got in the way of that shot. He'll get smashed to the boards by Hawkins. Suss backtracks. Shadowed, and there's going to be a delayed penalty here. Called right away, rather. Interference.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to go against Papanetti. The Knights are going to get a chance to go right back at it. You know, one thing that's showing up right now, the experience difference between this MTSU team and the Knights, 7 grad students, 23, 24 years old. UCF is starting 6 freshmen, 5 now because of Lasky. But you're talking about 5, 6, 7 years difference in age, Devin. That's a big deal when you come to this point in the season, particularly in a game this stature.
That's something that J.J. Murray, head coach in his 3rd year, prided himself on. When we talked to him earlier this week, he says, I want these experienced guys over guys I have to bring in that are brand spanking new. Of course, an M3 team right now, but they have aspirations to do some damage at Nationals and maybe move up a level or 2 in the future.
You know, there was an Indiana football coach that had that same philosophy. It worked out pretty well for him, didn't it?
Yes, Mr. Signetti.
This power play much different.
Yeah, good feeling, although I think Middle Tennessee right now, just keeping them to the neutral zone. Tough entry to the zone for UCF. This is Graziotti up for Joseph Dre. The captain will steer it to the middle of the ice. Catches Robert Renner. They'll enter to the middle. Dre through 2 defenders. Got it deeper in front. Fuller was ready on the low slot, but it went through a bunch of legs. Flanagan to take over. Backtracks. Shadowed by Chunchikov. Caught by Beckham Buford. Onside. Siciliano poke checks him. And the Blue Raiders again make life tough for zone entries. This is Solar. Big battle with Ogle. Short-handed, Middle Tennessee. Sets up an offensive formation. Now they'll back up to the neutral zone. Handled. Here comes Javier Dowd. Handed it off to Pavanka to the outside. Rimmed around the end wall. Caught on the opposite, the reverse fields. Chris Hill to meet it. Wanted a man in the middle, and it was deflected off the leg of a Blue Raider.
15 seconds left in this power play. Maybe one more rush in this Knights team. Sealar can do it himself.
The Jacksonville native to the middle, nobody home. But on the opposite wing, they're ready. Look out, stolen. Here comes DeMumbrum. Alone, dropped it for Ogle. He's got help now. Back to DeMumbrum off the outside of the goal.
Boy, fortunate break there as we go back to 5-on-5. Another odd man rush on a turnover by the first semester freshman, Dode, on a power play.
2-0 Middle Tennessee lead. Goals early, 20 seconds in from Siciliano and then Chunchikov 2 minutes later. And now the Knights are 0 for 2 on their man advantages. Trying to get settled into this game. We're just past the halfway mark of this first period. Devin Serra alongside Louis DiPaolo. College Hockey South playoffs. Right side chance. Sails wide of goal. Housed. Met it at the own point. Wanted to go cross ice. The speed. Landers. In hot pursuit is Yesnak. Has House coming on the back end. Takes the check behind. Gaffiatulin. Hard press. Support. Shimoni in there for UCF. They dig away for it in the near corner. It bounces free to the dots. House wants to move it up the wall. Shimoni sees it, has his stick lifted by Landers, and they'll battle for it again at the kick plate. Landers. Cass sees all of that and will melt things down.
Good job by Cass coming out to play that and stop the play, stop the momentum, give his team a chance to regroup. The speed of the MTSU team showing up early. Hard to say if they're any faster than FAU's D2 or Florida's D2, but the speed of the game, the transition that JJ's got going with these guys is tremendous.
one of the fastest teams you'll see in men's Division III. A lot of them like to play that structure and play along the walls in those triangle formations, but this group, they go north to south in a hurry.
They just turn and burn, baby.
Chunchakov backtracks to the point. He's got all kinds of pressure from Renner. Good strip there by Kovac. Gains the red line and dumps it in. Kopech out of his net to play it. Chunchakov can't stop it. Flanagan, shot to the net and gobbled up.
So things settled down a little bit. They still got to work on the odd man rushes if you're a UCF Knight fan. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the game is Cass. That's big. They're a resilient group, Devin. They were down 4-1 against the Gators at home. Came back, took a 5-4 lead with less than a minute left. Ended up in overtime. So they've been down before. They won't lose their composure now.
That's a deceiving record that they had this year, just at the 500 mark. But with those M2 games down the stretch, they really were battle-tested, and that's something Chris Brewster prided himself on. You know, with the switch to ACHA from AAU, they made things awkward. They were supposed to play Florida Atlantic and Tampa in those divisions, but unfortunately with what happened, or Florida rather, excuse me, they had to keep the schedule how it was, but they might be better off for it in the end.
Yeah, I think they will, absolutely. And kudos to all the teams that made that transition. It was not an easy one for MTSU, for anybody. But as long as we got the boys back out playing, we're all happy, right?
That's right. We'll have a balanced schedule next year in both M2 and M3. Samuel Payne. This is Santiago after it, overskated the puck. Kieran Ogle takes over for Middle Tennessee State. The offensive zone, good movement through the middle. Intercept by Payne. Met with Joseph Dre. Ogle at the far wing. Hounded. Santiago pushes him all the way to the point and out. And support by Chris Hill. The Knights go D to D. Renner for Joseph Dre through the middle. Closing the gap is Demumbrum. Knights having a tough time getting over center ice.
Yeah, that first pass right there, you got to hit that first pass. It's critical. And now you cause a rush coming the other way.
Hawkins to the outside, shadowed by Hill. Hill hook, stop reverse field. Smashed by Hill to the end wall. They'll fight for it. Hawkins gets free. Sends it up, back to door, and it's on the line and scores. Finished by Asia Rogers. That's 3-0, Middle Tennessee State.
Puck comes off the wall, goes in front. Cass made the first save. I think it was the rebound that it either trickled in over him or they popped it in. Hard to see. Doesn't matter now. 3-0, 6:15 left. MTSU, we got a goalie change coming up. Drake Crawford coming in for Coach Brewster's Knights. The senior from Laramie, Wyoming. He's just a little far away from home.
Good in his own right. Has a positive record in goal, but that is a disappointing sight for Andrew Cass. But Chris Brewster trying to play damage control. It's 3-0. 6 minutes to go in this first period. Solar can't get inside. He's pressed by Justin Beechler from the point, and that's a scene glove stop. Shot came at the points from Taylor Gaffaliatulin. And if you're now Crawford getting settled into this game, what's the key for him? Same thing, get that first and second stop?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, that poor kid, he's a senior. He's coming into a tough situation. I mean, he's got to hold the fort down now. Already down 3. He's going to have to just play his best hockey of his young career.
3 different goal scorers from Middle Tennessee.
Rogers from Hawkins on that one.
Yeah, Hawkins set that whole play up. He won that board battle behind the net and got it to the back door. It was stuffed home by Rogers. Demumbrum up the wall, not out. Held for a moment by Pavanka. And just like that, down the length of the ice, we have a race for it. And out of the net, Crawford will glove it. So we'll get a face-off in UCF zone with fresh line changes.
So that's one way to get into the game, at least feel the puck. Renner going over there to tap on his pads. 5:27 left in the first period. Lots of time left in the game, but this UCF Knights team got to pick it up. There's his first big save.
Yeah, came from the shot attempt, left side, Ogle. Get comfortable when he can. This is a good stop off the shaft of Kopech. Colin Jackson for UCF. Pursued in the near wall. Turnaround, centering feed from Kovac. After it is Jacob Schenk for Middle Tennessee State. A reset for Kovac and company. Stolen, though. Out front, nobody there except the black sweater. Colin Jackson a step ahead of Kieran Ogle. Middle Tennessee State forcing turnovers, Lewis.
Yeah, fortunate bounce there. Little timid play. Kovac, a freshman from Middlebury, Connecticut. But again, they've only got 2 seniors on this team. A lot of young players for this Knights. And I'm telling you, you're talking 5, 6, maybe 7 years difference in age. Imagine the amount of playing experience that some of these MTSU players have versus this UCF team. It's definitely showing up here.
And they're not just experienced. This is a hungry, motivated team. If you remember Nationals and AAU,
sure,
they lost badly to Florida Atlantic in the semis, and they felt like they were a better team than that showed.
Yes.
It's a flashy glove stop by Kopech. Might have been going wide. But he said the biggest thing is that we're a deeper team this year. A conference title is just as important to a national title for us. And I think that's a big mark from a head coach, J.J. Murray, that's so experienced.
Sure. They've been on a mission since that loss in Jacksonville.
Kevin Flanagan stripped by Yesnak. And with speed, Landers rushing into the offensive zone. Parks the brakes. Leaves it for House to the middle. And that sailed wide. Redirected. After it behind the goal. House moved up. Good job to get out of the way, but not out of the zone. Yesnak, UCF having trouble to collect this puck. Samuel Payne is there. Sanders, spinorama, rather Landers. Placentia, look out. Another flying puck goes into the glass in the stands. And whoever had the nice glove, that must be a goaltender sitting to our right.
Just going to say, sign him up. 4 minutes exactly left. 3-0. MTSU, the start that JJ was looking for.
3-0, 3 different goal scorers. They look like the #1 team in this conference and the #2 team in the country. Let's not forget that there's a potential auto bid on the line. However, if you're Middle Tennessee, you're at large no matter what. UCF and others, they're trying to chase that. Left wing, 3:39 to go in the first period. Taking a lap with it was Suss in the middle. Good block in front by Joseph Dre. He packs a lunch. Chris Hill stretching it. Tried to get it for Joshua Shimoni. It went past his stick, and that forces an icing.
Shots are 12-11. Very misleading. The quality of chances, the odd man rushes, big difference right now in the game. Just like last night in the Gator FAU game, Gators were up 3-2, made a few mistakes, turned the puck over. FAU buried them on those mistakes. Puck ends up in the back of the net. Same thing here right now.
Can UCF collect themselves and just survive to the end of the break? And of course, some other scores going on. USF absolutely dominated an electric first period. They were up 5-1 after the first period. They finished with a 12-5 win. That might be the scariest team for Middle Tennessee in this conference right now. #6 in the nation, the Bulls.
Yeah, they've got the same kind of thing. I don't know if they're as deep as MTSU, but they can match. If they shorten their lines, they can get to the third period.
Jacob Duhame, Grant Dietz, kind of like the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl of M3 college hockey right now. ACHA in the middle. Good block. Joseph Dre got in the way of the captain, Palmer.
Only the goaltender blocks more than Joseph Dre for this UCF Knights team. He is absolutely terrific back there. One of the college hockey all-stars, and he is from Pembroke Pines, just up the street as well.
Likely to be a first or second team conference player once again this year. 2:50 to go in this first period. Steered away. Banis getting outside of Dre. 2-on-1 nearly developed. Puck bounced past the stick of the alternate captain, Siciliano. Into the hand of Schenk. He gets decked to the ice by the opposite six, Fuller. Lyndon Palmer, Chunchikov driving the middle. Poke check, Solar. Renner after him. Flanagan in the middle. Chunchikov, nice deke to the net, scores! Tommy Chunchikov.
Boy, he picks up a loose puck, makes one toe drag, and he just comes in right to the slot, and he absolutely buried that one. Chunch with his second goal of the game. His wife Claire sitting in front of us. She's a happy camper after a 12-hour drive.
It was also a happy camper of the great Brady Palmer, father and voice of the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Welcome to Panthers IceDen. Doing a great job on Penalty Box Radio. Enjoying the 4-0 lead for Middle Tennessee in this game. And they are absolutely lighting it up against UCF, who had to pull their netminder, Andrew Cass, and Drake Crawford gets the first one past him. Flanagan, steady defenseman, senior, up for Joseph Kovac. Met by Placentia. Back to handle it will be Yuli Lima. He's pressed by Colin Jackson. Chance for UCF. Lima with another block. That time it came from Bouffard. Ogle at the half boards. Ahead it moves for DeMumbrum. Here comes Placentia, right wing to the outside. Went through the blue crease, sticked away by Crawford. Backhanded deeper by Ogle. DeMumbrum pressed. Tried to free it up in front and not able to get it was Ogle. Better job by Jackson. UCF, nice connected pass ahead. Bouffard waiting for help from Kovac in the bench. Rimmed around the boards. First player will be there is DeMumbrum. Ogle fights through bodies. Right wing tries to get inside. Good job by Gaffiatouin to stay with him. Throws it out in front. Nobody there except Bouffard. The sophomore gained the red line and off a skate blade. It's immediately turned back by the opposite number 8. Glove down again. This is Suss. Turns away. 1 minute to go in this first period. Absolute fireworks from this Blue Raider team that can fly. Housed against Sterling. Gets through to the neutral zone. Samuel Payne at the logo. Sent in by Beechler. That is iced as he was behind the red line.
The speed and the pressure of this MTSU team right now is just so lopsided. It's putting a ton of pressure on anybody out here in the black and gold right now. They're struggling just to get the puck into the blue line. But you saw Beckham Buffard on the boards before, had a shot. You got to hit the net, Dev. Especially what happened. He misses the net wide. It comes over here. I think it was Palmer, got it right up the boards, and boom, they're right back attacking the defense.
You also see how much trouble UCF has getting through traffic if there is a bounce out in front to get to the puck first. They put this puck at center. They ruled that wasn't an icing and made up for the correction. Look out, Beechler laid the deck and Kopeck made a nice stop. That was Samuel Payne feeling it right there.
Here's a crazy play now. Giant hit at the blue line. UCF picks the stick up and throws the stick. So it's going to be a penalty. You know, you went from bad to worse. Hitting's part of the game, right? So you get hit, and he is having a ball out there, Mr. Beechler, right?
Yeah, Payne wanted the explanation, but you said it. You're not allowed to take an opposing player's stick and just throw it out of play. You can leave it where it is, and maybe even if the puck is in play on top of it, play around it and sit on it, but you can't just throw it away.
How about you're down 4 goals? How about you just ignore it and concentrate on going forward?
Right.
You survived the hit, the puck got in. Let's go chase the puck. But instead, you know, you're ended up in the box.
And Palmer, and this power play that's already scored once today on their second attempt. DeMumbrum slid at the point. The captain, Palmer, looks off defenders. One-timer blast, scores!
Wow.
An absolute ripper from Matthew Siciliano. 5-0, Middle Tennessee State.
Siciliano was just a beast on that side. Looks like that guy from Washington. What's his name?
The grade 8?
The grade 8. He just absolutely blasted that. I don't even think that Crawford saw that at all. Samuel Payne, sophomore, playing hard all weekend. Was talking with coach about how well he played yesterday. Was in the box, and now we got a 5-0 game.
J.J. Murray's squad buzzing. That's 3 different goal scorers, 2 each. From Matthew Siciliano joins Tommy Chunchakov. And Middle Tennessee State, as this puck's flipped out of play with 1.4 left on the clock, are simply buzzing from Coral Springs.
Just insane. Siciliano's got 1, 2, he's got 3 points.
Yeah. I'm also counting an assist on Chunchakov.
Yeah.
But after 20 minutes, the Blue Raiders flying against the UCF, the #1 seed, looking like themselves. And the Knights trying to find an answer in this quarterfinal game. You're watching the College Hockey South Men's Division III playoffs, presented by Visit Fort Lauderdale. And well, for a moment, we'll see if Connor Stein can join us. And he's going to look for a Blue Raider player. To Connor Stein.
Great first period for MTSU there. What'd you like the most out of your power play unit?
Our power play unit's been great all year. We struggled against South Carolina. I think we went 0 for 9. So we had 2 weeks off, and we just did power play pretty much every day, every practice, the whole time, just to get it back to where it should be. And they're clicking right now.
And obviously, lopsided score for right now. What are you going to tell your boys in the locker room to kind of keep it settled down and don't let any emotions get too high?
We always play 3 games, so we won that first game 5-0. The second game 0-0 right now. Just win the second game for 20 minutes.
Thank you so much, Coach. Guys?
Thank you, Connor. Talking to head coach J.J. Murray. So interesting talking about South Carolina. They said they had trouble with. And turns out in this, they had a lot of firepower with the score being what it is.
They had trouble with South Carolina. Alabama gave them a couple of tough games earlier on in the season, which we were surprised at after UCF took out Alabama 9-2 yesterday. But again, when we started the show, we talked about a quick start and how important that is to UCF. They didn't get off to it, and it's just been an avalanche since.
UCF pulling Andrew Cass in that first straight, Crawford allowing 2. Both of those you might think are not his fault, but it's a 5-0 score in Middle Tennessee. Says it's a 0-0 game. We'll see if they play like that in the second. You're watching the College Hockey South M3 playoffs, presented by Visit Lauderdale. Back with you for the start of the second period, and boy, Middle Tennessee showing why they're the #2 team in the country and #1 seed in this playoff. 5-0 advantage, 2 goals with Matthew Siciliano and Tommy Chunchikov. Each of them also have an assist to their name. And down at ringside, our reporter, Connor Stein, is somewhere. There's a little bit more to the story of this game.
He's right here.
Connor?
Turn your mic on.
All right, Connor will get his mic working in just a moment, but the teams rejoin the fold. They'll flip sides of the ice. Middle Tennessee will go from right to left. In their white and blue sweaters, UCF in their blacks go from left to right. New goaltender, Trey Crawford, has been busy in that crease. Came in relief for Aiden Kopech midway through that first. Has to hold the fort down in what's been a tough game already.
Connor, we got your mic on. Try it now.
We'll try Connor Stein one more time. And Connor, we're still having technical difficulties. We apologize for that. We'll get you at some point in the period here, Connor. We'll come back to you. At the flip sides of the ice, Siciliano to dig in at center ice as we rejoin the fold. Shot 16-13, Middle Tennessee. That is very misleading, you said, Louis DiPaolo, because UCF right now is really feeling the burn from this blistering Middle Tennessee squad.
Yeah, and you know, the speech to me from Brewster in this period, oh, look at the speed right here, Siciliano.
Already catches up to the puck. Chunchikov will combine for 3 of the 5 goals, or rather 4 of the 5 goals for them, have really gotten back to the forecheck once again. Offensively, Suss to the net, up for grabs, steered away by the last man there, Payne.
Great job outside by Payne. Sorry about that. I was just talking to his dad, the sophomore from Orlando, using his body to hold out the player, the MTSU player right in front and clear the puck. But if you're Coach Brewster, you just got to say, look, let's just win this period. Let's go one period at a time and see what happens.
J.J. Murray also said it's now a 0-0 period for them. That is a scary philosophy if you're the Knights right now. But Brewster trying to get his team anyway back into this. Here's a nice move right to the net. Over top of the goal. It's on the line. They jam away at it. It's still loose, and finally the whistle blows. That was Becca Bouffard right on the goal line. Kopech punched it in the air, and it fell right on the goal line.
Van has thrown some shots to Beckham Bouffard. Beckham, not the biggest guy, but he's not going to back down from anybody. That was a terrific save right on the goal line. UCF came out, much different start this period.
Somehow that puck would not go through. It sat there for a long time until the crowd gathered. But UCF doesn't find pay dirt. They're going to put this puck outside the zone now.
How is that possible?
Interesting placement.
They're going to say that UCF knocked the puck, knocked the net off.
I guess so. I don't know how they made that call, but nonetheless, here comes the Blue Raiders trying to exit, but they can't. Good hold in by UCF. Here's a chance in the middle. Rebound given up. Bouffard there with help from Chris Hill. Blue Raiders get away unscathed. They move up ice. Brennan Ogle, left side for Kieran. Alternate captain. Held at the point by Schenk. Taken out of the play by Jackson. Lucky to get away with a trip.
No,
Middle Tennessee bench was when he didn't. Yeah, you're right. Well, that's a tough play for Jackson, Lewis.
Yeah, Jackson going after the puck. Sometimes the stick gets caught in the skate. Unfortunate call, but the correct one. Jackson going in. Penalty kill for this UCF Knights team. Got to step up. However, I was talking about how young they are, how inexperienced they are compared to the number 1, number 2 team, depending on what poll you look at in the country. Great lesson so far for this UCF team that they'll build upon, whether it's this period, or next season.
Shot to the net, knocked down, loose in front, and it trickles away from everybody. Middle Tennessee State today is 2 for 2 on the man advantages, evident of the story. DeMumbrum for Lyndon Palmer, the captain, takes a look to the net. He's shadowed in front by Fuller. Looks off a man. Siciliano, 2 goals in this game, to the net. Sprayed it wide. Fuller on the clapper. Up but not out. Help from the backhand by Graziati. Blue Raiders have to dump it back in. Emphatically moved. Siciliano, Kieran Ogle is caught up with Fuller, and DeMumbrum cleans up the dirty work. Back to the point he goes. Surveys left side. Siciliano, one-timer. Nearly blocked by his own man. Kieran looked like he got in the way of the shot.
He may have.
Palmer, middle, chance for Ogle again. A follow-up to DeMumbrum, left side, one-timer. There it is. The hat trick for Matthew Siciliano.
Power play goal. Crawford couldn't get back in time. He just put that one right in the center of the net, wasting no time. 6-0 MTSU.
Perfect on the man advantage. Nothing that Drake Crawford could do about that. An exceptional power play team. Looking like and I know this is going to be crazy, ACHA to NHL reference, the Colorado Avalanche. Just dominating in this game on every chance they get offensively.
Well, when you say Colorado, what's the first thing you think of?
Oh, man.
Speed, right?
Do I have to be?
Well, the Avalanche.
I was going to think of a player, but from the 90s, actually. But, you know.
Generally speaking, you're thinking speed, and you see it on full display
Definitely.
here at MTSU.
Yeah, they are so fast. Think of Cal McCarr, Nathan McKinnon. Look out, puck trickles in on Crawford, and he had to glove it down to get out of harm's way. Evidently, Lewis, as soon as you said that, and you repeated, as a Red Wings fan, sorry if it offends anybody listening
Lemieux.
out there, you know, hey, don't like the Avalanche from the 90s, man.
Dude,
Just saying.
those rivalry games with your Red Wings were just must-see TV. They were terrific.
I'm a big Joe Sakic guy, too. I'm a big fan of his leadership philosophies. I forget which NHL organization he's involved in now. It might still be the Avalanche. Placentia for Lima. Back to 5-on-5 we go. UCF. Somehow you've got to just think they are really feeling tired mentally on that bench. I mean, we're not even halfway in this game, and in Middle Tennessee, it looks like they're having their way in every single facet.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee now, JJ's got the boys rolling. What they need to do, just keep playing. Don't relax, play your game. You got a great opportunity in front of you. You want to keep playing tomorrow. Play your game, do what got you here.
Now, if Middle Tennessee is to hold this lead, we'll remind you of the updated bracket. USC and Tampa follows this game. The winner of that would play Middle Tennessee. Here's a chance in front for Ogle. Good knock away by Amadio Pavanka. If UCF wins, though, here's a chance right side. Sailed over the goal by Ogle. That from Brendan. If UCF somehow moments a crazy comeback, they would then take on USF. But you're looking at potentially the winner of Tampa and USC, and then Florida Gulf Coast and USF tomorrow in the semifinal. How about USF? A 12-5 smackdown against a really good Kennesaw State team that we all know is revamped after a really good performance in Tennessee. They just could not keep up with Grant Dietz and company.
No, I was just going to say, they played so well yesterday, Kennesaw. And everybody was talking about, that's the new Kennesaw. USF just came out and dismantled them.
Look out, May. That's Beecher again over there. Beechler, rather. Another big blow. Bouncing off the boards, Graziati. Brendan Ogle, a pest on Chris Hill. Gets inside of him. Help in the back end from Colin Jackson. Losing an edge is Chris Hill. Solar. Here's a break, though. 2-on-1 develops, but it's offside. Solar.
Wow, so close. Things just not going the Knights' way right now. 15-21 left. 6-0. Been all MTSU, other than a few spurts here and there.
Yeah, I think the disappointing part not disappointing, but it's what you'd expect. You know, Danny Bohm, one of our co-heads of this whole operation here, told me, you know, M3, disappointed by the amount of blowouts we've had. We had a great Alabama-Tennessee game for the 9th place game. But other than that, it's been all chalk so far with the top seeds. USF, of course, FGCU dismantled the Clemson team with a shutout. And now you're seeing this in Middle Tennessee, 6-0 lead. Siciliano stood up by Hill. Jackson takes over, sends it to nobody, and that's going to be an easy icing.
With the transition back to ACHA, a lot of teams, ended up in different positions. Not everybody was expecting it to be smooth, but it was a little bit more chaotic than what everybody was expecting. Let's face it, you could see MTSU easily playing D2. Same thing with USF. So maybe that's their goal next season.
And talking to coach for USF, Joe Rhodes, that is potentially in the works for them. And there's that one, sails high. Siciliano ripped it, looking for his 4th. Already the hat trick, not even halfway. Solar onside, this time takes one and gobbled up with no rebound by Aiden Kopech.
Furthermore, on that point, Devin, part of the issue is your geographic location. You can be a D2 team like Tampa, like Gulf Coast, but if you don't have enough competition around you, you're not going to be flying and driving every weekend to play D2. Part of that's true with MTSU.
Geography of the ACHA, of course, these are club programs, and a lot of it is, student-funded, parents, so many great supporters. And at some point, you're hoping the growth of the game takes that step to get more teams up to M2 and maybe even M1 soon. But you are where your feet are, and Middle Tennessee right now is still eyeing a first national championship there in men's Division III. We'll see them in the national tournament March 17th or 18th to the 22nd from St. Louis, Missouri. Centene Community Ice Center, practice facility of the St. Louis Blues. Tipped onside, big hit laid out in the slot. Robert Renner cleaned the clock that time of Asia Rogers. And Rogers has a goal in his game to his credit. Knocked down by Flanagan. Move to the middle. Pressed Santiago. Swooping in to take away the puck is Rogers. Far wing, Renner pressed his man to the boards. After it is Justin Sterling. Flanagan up the movement. They race in. Samuel Payne met Lima, and the puck goes all the way down towards Aiden Kopech. Lima to control. Active stick for Javier Dowd. From the red line, puck way out of play, knocked free by Asia Rogers. They'll get some line changes, and of course the conversation a lot of times has been, how does Middle Tennessee stack up with the rest of the look at who leapfrogged them? Calvin University, they are firmly planted in the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference picture. They are in the semifinal this weekend, taking on Grand Valley State and Michigan and Lawrence Tech. Now, those are really good, Oakland rather, in the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference. That traditionally has produced national champions year after year, but Hope College moved up to men's Division I and are in the national field this year. So that really has opened the door wide open for a new national champion, a guaranteed new national champion, but a field of about 10 to 12 teams that can realistically win it in men's Division III at nationals. Here's the Knights, up to the point, handled by Pavanka. Threw it out, tried to find Buffart. They were not on the same page. Joseph Kovac behind the goal. Up the far boards, Yesnak to control it for Houst. He'll cut off by Pavanka. This one taken away, Javier Dowd. Kovac can't find the puck. Set the opposite wing, Beechler, 2-on-1. Here's Ogle to the net, great shot to follow up. Another great stop by Drake Crawford. Wow. Unbelievable.
UCF all night. Crawford getting love. He's getting information from feedback. He's getting a hand from the MTSU fans.
From the point, Banis negated. Intercept by Dre. Move it out to center ice. Carson Mueller. Once again, two on. Oh, look out. Here they come. Just missed the net. Wide was Ogle. That time, Kieran. From the point, another send in on Crawford, and it's deflected to the netting. 11:52 to go in the second. Much more of the same. Better looks by UCF, but Middle Tennessee, they are really cutting up the defense for Chris Brewster's squad.
Well, I'll tell you what. You turn around and you hear me?
Off the face-off, Banis. That one, great block by Joseph Dre, right into the gut.
Dre with a terrific shot.
Crawford's going to hold on. He sees Chunchikov pressing in, and that'll slow things down. And for UCF, I think that's to their benefit. They're having to make these line changes now.
Yeah, they'll give themselves a chance to make the line change. We think we got all our audio worked out.
Sorry if you were cut off in any technical difficulties.
Hey, I was cut off. Does that count?
You know what? I've been there. And to be honest, hey, it's sometimes better not to hear yourself, right?
There you go. All right, 11:35 left here, 6-0.
Now, Lewis, now you've seen a lot of UCF hockey. This is quite the mountain to climb. How do you build off this?
Well, I think you saw Crawford right there with some big saves. Again, even the MTSU people were like, hey, nice job. You're playing for your sweater. You're playing for your teammates. And certainly this is not a game that you ever give up in just because it's so fast and so physical.
And, you know, to J.J. Murray and Middle Tennessee's credit, they told us earlier in the week they were going to throw a lot of different looks. There's Crawford, another one in his paraphernalia. And they want to shake up their looks because teams are going to be watching them at every angle. We have this broadcast, you know, Brady Palmer, great job with Penalty Box Radio. You can watch all the games you want. Sometimes you see a team like this, it doesn't matter the kind of film you have. You need to have players that can match them in speed and intensity.
I was going to totally say what you just said, and that was you can watch it all day long, but you can do your X's and O's, but speed kills.
Here's a chance. Kopech gave up a rebound, and Kovac couldn't get there in time. Jacob Fuller pressed. Left side chance over top of the goal by Kovac again. Buffard is there. Moving to center. Cam Hawkins assisted on the fifth goal of this one. Won a few board battles as he's done well all season. Kevin Flanagan ahead. Jacob Fuller calling for it is Buffard with a rush. He's taken away. Papanetti takes over. Fuller presses the issue. Buffard in front. Nobody there in black sweaters. Hawkins out of traffic. And there goes Middle Tennessee, evading another chance. Kevin Flanagan sidesteps the defender. Landers for the Blue Raiders. Only defender on this near side as Middle Tennessee was changing. Backhanded. Kovac, the only Knight in the vicinity, but it's called icing as Ratliff got there first.
For UCF, when they've had their chances, and they've had a few, Kovac has been terrific in that too. Kovac, my apologies.
Yeah.
He's been really solid back there. Again, he is 7-4 in this season. Grant Williams 8-1-2. Both of them 3.58, 3.36 goals against.
Seems like they can really go with either guy at Nationals. Obviously, Kovac, a senior. That one is a good stop by Crawford. He wanted to glove it down. His own forward came in to take it away. That was the defenseman, Robert Renner. Keep the play moving. Kovac, though, all kinds of trouble. Will skate up ice with some room. Santiago through the middle. We'll get to it. Not before Kovac comes out to play it. Reverses field to Yesnak. Up the glass and chipped towards the opposite netminder. Was going to hold on. There's no Blue Raiders in the vicinity. So Pavanka will move it out of the zone.
You wonder how the hockey gods are looking down, right? When you see a puck that's going to be a clear icing call off the glass, it hits the stanchion boards, and where does it go? On top of Crawford.
Such a fitting way the hockey gods play it out. Brendan Ogle for Middle Tennessee State. They fly the neutral zone. Bannis enters the folds. Put up the Baptist Health logo at the boards. Up to the point, held. Crawford had to make a save. Clearing the lane in front was Pavanka. Brendan Lima to the net, and Crawford make a nice glove stop.
Tell you the one thing that you can see in person, this MTSU team, they never stop their feet. You don't see anybody sitting around. They got the puck in the offensive end. They're all trying to make a move. They always say the most important person is the person without the puck. There's 4 of them, and they're not sitting still, creating lanes, creating opportunities in passing angles.
Speaking of sitting still, you notice how organized this bench is. Almost everybody stands, and they just look like they know when they're going to get on the ice. They know exactly their plan. J.J. Murray, an excellent coaching staff, does a heck of a job. Assistant coaches Kent Nussbaum and Tom Murphy, one of the best in the country. Stripped. Here's a chance. Kopak. Nice stop on Joshua Shimoni.
And there you have it again. Kind of sums it up when UCF does get a chance. Kopak there.
First man with open ice. This is Kieran Ogle. To the outside. In front. Black sweater. Takes it away. Good luck for Troy Bryan. Haven't seen him yet. The native of Lutz, Florida. Freshman, another try. Kopak gave up a juicy rebound, but it was helped with Placentia. Held on side with Hill. In the middle. 3 shots. Back door. Cleared again by Placentia. Got there first against Bryan. Ogle. Brendan. Moved up the near side. It trickles to the logo. Ogle stripped by Solar. He's got a heap of speed. Takes a hook. Gets Graziati in the middle. Solar was there. And Kieran Ogle cleans up the dirty work. Gives it to his opposite Ogle. Kieran. Chunchikov off the bench. Here comes the top line. Siciliano a hat trick. Chunchikov still looking for his third of this game, but he's got an assist as well. Dancing through defenders. Last man Graziani strips him. A look for options. Try to break it out. Intercept. Opposite way, Siciliano. Dropped it for Palmer. 2-on-1 developed. Palmer toe drags. Great stop. The follow-up is finished. That's Siciliano with his 4th.
Unbelievable pressure they put on Crawford. He's been really good this period. Makes a couple of saves. The rebound, UCF unable to clear it. And the sniper himself, number 27, Mr. Matthew Siciliano from Hendersonville, Tennessee, the grad student, just all over. The Knights are going to have nightmares about him.
That's now eclipsing 60 points, 4 goals, 62 points, including this postseason. Absolute dynamo.
In 24 games.
And that's rivaling Grant Dietz numbers, and we know how special he is for that USF team.
The difference, I still think, from seeing both, this MTSU bench with JJ is deeper.
And we'll see USF tomorrow, presumptuously taking on Florida Gulf Coast in the College Hockey South M3 playoff semifinal. From Coral Springs, Florida, you can catch it right here on the College Hockey South YouTube channel.
Yeah, free stream. I want to thank Visit Fort Lauderdale for being a big part of this tournament. Our Commissioner Kyle Nell got all this thing organized. Panthers IceDen, great place to come watch hockey.
And thank you to our broadcast crews. Florida Atlantic, gracious to volunteer their time here on the stadium rink.
Even Mitch.
Our producer Mitch has been working the sticks real hard. We appreciate his work so much. Tennessee also made the trip out here. Whit Maxwell, Charlie Serafian, and then Florida Southern, Gavin Coker and his fiancée Alina Kay made it on the Den rink. They've been active all day. They're finally giving them a break today here. Boy, 4
Takes
straight
a lot
games.
of people to put this on.
It does. It's a group effort, and so thankful for the College Hockey South family. Here's Chunchikov, drives to the net. Crawford stands him up on the strong post. Siciliano out in front. Chunchikov cut it wide. Once again, Siciliano just jamming Carson Mueller. And boy, Tyre Gaffiatoulin, you talk about tough poise. It seems like UCF, they are just feeling it on every sense. There is no back down from this MTSU squad.
No, they're absolutely doing what we said they had to do. Just continue to play your game. Do what you got here doing, and they just keep perfecting it.
Odd
They are a
bounce.
well-oiled machine.
And, you know, we talk about systems and what they can do. I mean, it's a lot of speed, but they also have the grindness and the wear down, and if they have to, their defense can interchange and cycle and keep up with you. It's such a lethal combination at this level. Here's a chance in the net. Crawford again. And just when you think you're with a chance to get help for your netminder, they take the puck to the net off the faceoff draw. It's so impressive. Here's Amadio Pavanka. Rim the wall. Shimoni is there. Stood up by Shen. Pavanka to control. Jammed. Active shift for a player in Papinetti. Big guy, 6'4". The roster sheet I saw a day ago. Couple buck 190 all in all. That looks like an older player.
Yeah, they're big, they're fast, they're physical. They got size, speed.
I wonder if this team could, I mean, not could, they probably would compete with an experienced NCDC squad. Look out, here's a chance for the Knights. And a last moment poke check in the way of the passing lane, Asia Rogers. They couldn't find Javier Dowd. Banis, Clapper. Low pat stop for Crawford. Sprayed along the near wall. Troy Bryan is in there against Yesnak and company.
See, you saw Banis coming in, right? He takes the shot from just inside the blue line, right on target. He doesn't miss the net, forces a rebound into the corner, and they pick the puck right up. So important if you're going to take that shot from out far, you got to hit the net.
House, another try from that same spot, and
So-
that one is covered.
Exactly. It doesn't go in, but what happens? Now you got to face off in the offensive end. You get some fresh legs out there, and you keep running.
No chance for that transition game that you said would have to be important for UCF to match. And they just have not had those kinds of rushes like maybe not we expected, but they certainly needed to stay in this game.
Yeah, my thought with Brewster when we were talking earlier in pregame was you got to withstand that first few minutes of the game, and you got to counterattack. They just could not counterattack. They just got hit in the mouth and kept getting hitting in the mouth.
Scored 15 seconds in. Look out. Big collision at center. Chris Hill and J.J. Landers.
Speaking of a hit to the mouth, right?
Good to see both get up there. Laid
Yeah.
offside if UCF touched. So they have to give it back to the Blue Raiders. Yildi Lima. They'll take a lap with it. Onside, shadowed by Jackson. Pulling off the outside of the goal. Joseph Dre pressed to the boards. Chris Hill to take it the opposite way. Up ice. Housed all over him. Kieran Ogle takes a whack at him. Squirts free. Lima dances away. Colin Jackson finds room, but it's House that gets there first. Layers of offense, but the Knights generate a 2-on-1 the other way. Left side, Solar tried to feed it for Chris Hill, and stopping the passing play, Jacob Placentia.
Terrific play with the stick down. If he makes that pass across, UCF may be on the board with Chris Hill. Just not going their way.
And really, what's so impressive about that, Placentia is shaded to the shooter side. Normally,
Yes.
you kind of want to be shaded to the passing option.
Yes.
Let the goaltender take the shooter. That time, he takes away the whole play, and it trickles in on Kopech. That is just an example of getting out of fires for the Blue Raiders. Here's Ogle meeting Justin Sterling for the Knights. It's played out to the red line. Kieran Ogle with Demumbrum. Inside, good save by Crawford holding his post. Santiago, jammed to the boards, look out official. Nearly caught a stick to the face. Justin Beechler, it's a broken stick. Going off to the bench will be Santiago. It's a little delay, they got more numbers. Blue Raiders, great back check by Sterling. Getting in the way of a number of blue sweaters. That's Ogle going off. Brendan. Jamming check, Ratliff. Beechler to backtrack, Fuller. Will give chase, Chunchikov watches. Past one man in Bouffard. And 1 minute to go in the period. 2 goals from Middle Tennessee. The hat trick completed by Matthew Siciliano. In fact, he's got 4 in this game.
Yeah, he's working on his second one.
It'll be nuts. Chunchikov stops, waits for options off the bench. Shen and Banis enter the folds. Flanagan watches him. Rifled one, tried to go in front, and UCF stepped into the way. Banis to Hook. Plays it ahead swiftly. Don't believe it was ever touched by Chunchikov, but the Blue Raiders got there first. Nearly generated a scoring chance. 27 against his opposite man. Siciliano stood by Flanagan. 15 to go in the period. Chunchikov sees who's coming. It's Bouffard. From behind the net. Out of harm's way.
Oh.
All Blue Raiders. The fans want a call, and they're going to get one.
Yeah, Fuller frustrated. Shot to the head on Schenk. Good job by Schenk not retaliating. JT going in for roughing.
Blue Raiders are already 3 for 3 on the man advantage tonight. 2 power play goals from Matt Siciliano and the other from Chunchikov in the first. 4.6 on the clock. You'll get the chance for 1 draw, maybe a quick shot and then another. DeMumbrum to take it. How to get the clock set. Now it is. DeMumbrum trying to throw it out in front. Chunchikov wasn't ready. And that's it for 40 minutes. Blue Raiders, more of the same. Siciliano, the only 2 of the period. He's got the latest 3 goals. And they're 20 minutes away from moving on to the semifinal to take on the winner of Tampa and USC. We'll rejoin in 15 minutes time, but we're going to get an MTSU member before we hit the break. Lewis, quick thoughts about the second.
Second period, you know, it was a little bit more of the same, a little bit better opportunities for UCF. Crawford got into the game, made some big saves. Bounce is just not going the way of this UCF team tonight.
Just an utter domination through 40 minutes. UCF, a lot of chasing in that zone time. Very much evident of what they've done all season against M3 foes. And it seems like they're going to do more of the same. To their mind, 0-0. Connor waiting on a member of an MTSU roster. And Connor's getting set up now. Connor Stein with Matthew Siciliano down by the glass.
Thanks, guys. Matthew Siciliano here, ringside. Man, what an offensive period for you. 4 goals so far. What have you seen offensively?
It's just been chances, places where you're not expecting to get the puck that much, and the guys have been finding me. I've been getting open, and things have been bouncing in.
Yeah, and obviously with this big lead, you got to keep emotions under control. What are you telling your guys between periods to keep things under control and finishing strong?
Yeah, we break it down to 3 games, really. You know, every 20 minutes is its own game. So we're going to the locker room. It's 0-0. We got to finish out. 20 minutes is a long time, so.
Thank you. Guys?
And Connor
how
repeating
well
the notion of
coached is
J.J. Murray.
Yeah.
They said the exact same thing.
Yes, how well coached is that? It's right into their head, into their heart, into their soul. 0-0, keep your cool. That's, to me, as a former coach, that's the most important thing. Keep your cool, do what you've done to get here, and then at the end of the period, then you get ready for tomorrow.
They're on their way. 7-0 Middle Tennessee over UCF. You're watching the Men's Division III College Hockey South Playoffs, presented by Visit Fort Lauderdale. ever do this? You ever keep like a words chart? Did you ever keep a words chart? Can you guess who I like? Words, places, things. I've heard from commentators I like. Can you guess who this is? John Forster.
What?
I love Forster. Big.
You gotta send me that link. I want to see it.
I just took these off of ESPN.
Okay.
That's fine. Whenever you guys are ready. Mitch, whenever you're ready.
I wish you wouldn't cut our volume off.
After 40, Middle Tennessee in the driver's seat, looking to go to the semifinal for tomorrow. And Connor Stein has more on the offensive prowess of Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, obviously, guys, Matthew Siciliano, 4 goals so far today. He's done an excellent job.
Connor.
MTSU, obviously,
Connor.
is 7-goal lead now here in the third period. They're looking to finish things off and get ready to go here throughout the rest of the tournament. Guys?
Is your
Thank
mic
you,
on?
Connor. Not sure if we heard your messages about Middle Tennessee's offense, but you know what he's kind of getting at is just the waves of forecheck and the waves of different guys getting involved. Obviously Siciliano with 4 goals, but they've gotten shots from 10, 11 guys in this game.
Yeah, obviously he's been terrific, like you said. Fuller in the box, the penalty kill for this UCF team. Still some heart and hustle, but you can look at a positive if you're UCF. You gave up, out of the 7, probably gave up at least 3. Beckham Buffard with the check. 3, they shouldn't have went in. You could have had 3 yourself, except for the goaltending of MTSU. You got to try to find some positive there, Deb, so that you can build on something.
Yeah, and UCF, their tournament is not done. They're going to play in what we believe is the 7th place game tomorrow. That's guaranteed. And for them, it's still a younger program. They have a couple of seniors, but obviously need to bolster some guys that are coming up through the ranks of their lineup. Here's a chance. Aiden Kopech out of the net. Handled by Chris Hill.
Chris Hill, grad student, does have more eligibility, but
chance.
he's working.
Sorry about that. Buffard nearly jammed it home. Short-handed, by the way. Here's Middle Tennessee's power play continuing. Chunchikov, nice move, and trickled off his stick.
So, as I was saying earlier before, you've got 2 seniors, Chris Hill, a lot to build on. These young guys will take this experience, and Crawford with the save. They'll take this experience with them, Devin, and work toward building that for next season.
And you know, Philip Hall is a netminder for them that hasn't gotten a lot of looks, but he played pretty well against FAU. I don't think that's a guy you should sleep on at all. Obviously, Crawford and Andrew Cass have garnered the weight here.
Yeah, and they're seniors, so they're going to lose both of them.
Right.
So Hall's going to step up by choice or by necessity.
And Chris Brewster still work to do. We'll have a full offseason for UCF, and hopefully they are able to sort of schedule a match with some M3 teams and get themselves back into national contention. This is iced by Middle Tennessee with 17:35 to go in the third. Devin Serra and the great Louis DiPaolo with you ringside from Coral Springs. This is the College Hockey South M3 playoffs, and boy, a lot of big games, big blowouts today on the M3 side of things. You're looking at USF went 12-5 over Kennesaw State. FGCU took care of a shutout over Clemson. And still to play tonight is Tampa and USC, South Carolina. And by the way, the Hockey House game to watch. It's probably the best matchup we've been looking forward to all week on the M3 side.
Yeah, and it gets it through basically. Yesterday was the play-in. Today's day 1. Tomorrow's going to be another notch, and then Championship Sunday, we're going to have a ball right here.
4 champions. First time we're crowning all of them under one roof. M2, M3, ACDC, and the women's division.
Yeah, our Commissioner Kyle Nell does a great job with the conference, putting all this stuff together. The UCF College Hockey South interns have been absolutely terrific.
Unbelievable.
You know, I think we got a staff of 12 of us, right, on the broadcast side. But you got multiple cameras, you got scorekeepers, you've got people input into the new system that we have here, thanks to Kyle. We've got live scoring available to us here on the broadcast. Makes a big difference. We lost that this season when we came back to ACHA.
For sure. And big props to our production staff here, Madison Quinn, Ethan Nalvin. That one slides towards
everyone but Mitch.
Everybody but Mitch. You got to give the producer love here. He's trying his best.
He is. He just sent Madison to Guitar Center to get some more gear. Never ending to bring you the best.
Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored by Guitar Center, but we do appreciate their services.
But we are sponsored by Visit Fort Lauderdale, who we want to thank.
Time to go to the beach. Spring break, though. Be careful if you are traveling around Fort Lauderdale this time of year. Here's UCF out of their own zone. Kevin Flanagan, a senior defenseman, Plantation, he calls home just down the road. Joshua Shimoni to the offensive zone. Handled with Anthony Bannis, been all over the ice defensively for Middle Tennessee. Bit underrated. He's going to go forward alone to the low slot, and that's blocked by Joseph Dre, steered wide. Papanetti lets him take over. Up for grabs, Ratliff tries to meet him, and Jacob Graziotti got in the way. They keep it onside, though. Backhand wide of the blue crease. And out to the neutral zone, poked by Graziotti against Ratliff. Too far, just reaching offside with Jackson.
You mentioned Shimoni, one of the many Broward County kids that play for this UCF Knights team. Want to say hi to his parents, Devin. They were here yesterday, wanted to stay and watch today, but his mom said, I can't believe we're going on a cruise. So they're watching on a cruise ship somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. College Hockey South everywhere this weekend.
Worldwide, international, Atlantic. We have it all here on the page, and 3 different streams going. Catch some ACDC and women's games going on. Tair Gaffiatulin negated, stood up by Ogle.
That dump in went off Jackson's skate, who's standing on the boards. You know, if UCF goes back and looks at this, and at some point they will, just not anything going their way. They haven't got a great bounce. They've got a terrific goaltender playing tonight. Look how big he is. Kopech's a big dude back there. Right? He covers a lot of net. Look, you see him standing up, and when he bends over, Devin, he's still got more than half the net covered.
Here's Yoli Lima trying to dig in on Crawford. That one sprayed wide. Ogle, nice move past one defender. DeMumbrum waits for it, doesn't give it. Now he'll reverse field to number 89 in white. Now Kieran, rather Brendan takes over. Hard fall for Gaffiatulin, gets up in a hurry. They fight for it at the left dots. Held onside by Yuli Lima to the net. Good block, Dre the follow-up. Crawford the first stop, and way out of the zone, slapped by the UCF captain.
Crawford with a big save. We got a icing call coming up. Neither team giving up so far. MTSU doing what they need to. UCF still playing for pride, like you said. Opportunity again tomorrow.
They have to get better somehow, and I know Chris Brewster is going to be so disappointed with this effort today. But J.J. Murray and Middle Tennessee are just on another level right now. There's a tip shot that goes in. Was that Siciliano again?
I don't know if it was him or if it went off a UCF defenseman, but
leading the line is Lyndon Palmer, the captain.
Yeah.
It came from the middle point, Lewis, and had a number of legs that traveled through and ultimately went past the far post. Inside. 8-0, 14:51. Middle Tennessee putting it on. And let's remind folks that this tournament, these games count for the national rankings. There is still a chance that Middle Tennessee could jump Calvin depending on what happens in this tournament and the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference this weekend. Through the middle, DeMumbrum looking for a one-timer. Just slid past his twig. Palmer. Cut off. In his way It was a Pavanka stick.
Yeah, the M2 is already set. We know who's going from our conference. It's going to be FAU and University of Tampa, as that one goes over the glove of Crawford. But for the M3 division, you're exactly right. This weekend is huge. And I'm sure that's in the back of the mind of JJ.
Yeah, not just for seeding, but you think about where USF is, number 6. How about Florida Gulf Coast, number 15? South Carolina, 16. Tampa at 19. These are teams that have to win games this weekend to have a chance at getting within that top 16. We presume there's going to be some auto bids too, Lewis. We don't exactly know. So every moment matters in these games, and the goal differential matters especially.
There's going to be a College Hockey South team from M3 that may not get in that's deserving, and it's just that tight.
Kovac, spindling puck, collected, waits for help coming onside. Dropped the trailer, help Santiago. Around the horn it goes. Flanagan, past his stick. Retrieving will be Robert Renner. Landers shadows both of them. Look out, puck thrown out in front, it's stolen. Help, Landers, Schenk to the net. Funky redirection to the near boards. Robert Renner takes over. Send back by Houston Company. Hawkins, number 74, a bit of an underrated player, but every time he's been on the ice, he's generated a scoring chance somehow.
Yeah, they are just stacked top to bottom. They are impressive to watch as you see UCF going off sides right now.
Their fate is sealed. There's no chance this UCF team gets to the Nationals, but for the future, how do you think M3 looks as a whole, and where does this UCF team play into it?
Well, Brewster took over a program. He was goalie coach last year, he and Mariani, and he came in first year, and he settled the goalie situation, and he made both goaltenders better, and actually Hall you can throw in there too. So he's got that settled for now, and then what they've got to do is recruit some more. They've got to get some more experienced players. I don't know that you need to go out and get 7 more freshmen, but if you can find some guys on campus, 55,000 kids on campus. There's got to be a couple of grad students that can skate, you would think, right? And then turn around and regroup for next year. Again, it's a young team. And hopefully, you know, our thoughts and prayers from all of us here go out to Aiden Lasky. He had a very serious injury, still in the hospital. But if he can recover and he's allowed to play next season, then he's a big help for this team also.
And he was playing top line minutes.
Oh, he was
guys
a stud.
Before the injury. Had a number of points against an M2 Florida Atlantic team. And you have to think that Brewster is going to build around him and be a guy that relies on a lot next season. Ogle to Ogle, backdoor to Mumbrum. Missed the net wide. Knights catch a break. And there hasn't been many that Middle Tennessee's missed on today. Joseph Dre to the slot. Flashy leather. Caught by Kopeck.
They're going to miss Chris Hill on defense, and they're going to miss Flanagan. Those are your stalwarts back there. Forwards, Carson Mueller, senior, but I believe he's coming back. Everybody else is back. So you'll wait and see what happens. Javier in to take this draw. He's a big, strong, young player. Again, these are 18-year-old kids playing against men, right?
To your point, Lewis.
Chunch is married. His wife is sitting in front of us.
That's impressive. Just the average age, 24 to 25 for Middle Tennessee. But Chris Brewster for UCF told us earlier this year, we like to have our D active in the play, and we rely on those guys sometimes. You're seeing it right now. Joseph Dre all over the forecheck. But a number of white sweaters get to the puck and take it out. There's Brennan Ogle. He's shadowed. Kieran, rather. Chris Hill. And Javier Dowd feeling it. DeMumbrum up to the points. Slapper. Rebound picked up. Brendan behind Drake Crawford, can't find it. Never got to the opposite part of the post. A flip out to center. And retreating back will be Justin Beechler for Middle Tennessee State.
And it's funny, you look at this Tennessee team that went from 1 to 2 in the rankings, and we're talking, there's Fuller.
Nice move. Fuller denied by Kopech.
And we were talking about USF. You watch them in person, they're pretty similar. Again, a little bit deeper here with Tennessee, but 14 spots in the rankings. USF on the verge, depending on how they do the rest of the weekend. You never know with those computer rankings, Devin. They could get knocked out.
Delayed call coming up on UCF. Matt Siciliano has the puck looking for 5. Crawford's got it. But Middle Tennessee is going to go back to the man advantage for the 5th time tonight. They are 3 for 4 on the power plays. And you talk about roster assembly for UCF, Middle Tennessee State, for J.J. Murray, a lot of Nashville Spartan guys, a really good junior program. Some guys in this team, they didn't want to play NCAA D3. You think about where you got to go, middle of nowhere, play in front of maybe 200 people. You go to Middle Tennessee State, they've got a great following. Social media, we've got hundreds of people watching around the world that are Blue Raider fans and alumni, and they simply have guys that just want to play, have fun, but play good puck.
Hey, they were loud and proud last year at Nationals, and I'm sure they're going to show up in St. Louis.
Be awesome to see it. Centene, wraparound try. Crawford has it, and an extra shove comes in. UCF's Joseph Dre lost his glove.
But again, you talk about the recruiting that JJ's done with all the grad students, with all the locals. You go up and down their roster, 90% of that roster is Tennessee kids. Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Clarksville, bunch from Smashville. So, hey, you get your education, you get to play at home. What's the reason you wouldn't want to go there?
Not a lot of reasons to say no. Look out, awkward fall. Don't like to see that. Santiago hit to the deck. Brendan Ogle, number 86 in white, moves it along the wall. Landers held onside just barely by Houst. He's pursued by Santiago. Got it deeper. Yudi Lima. The top of the left dots. Switches places with DeMumbrum. Takes a look to the net. Thought better of it. Jamming it home. Crawford says no. They fight. Gaffiatulin all over the bigger Yuli Lima, just bodying Graziati. Gaffiatulin. And Landers comes in to help, and it's flung way out of play. And joins about, I don't know, a dozen pucks on top of that little roof there.
I'll tell you what, the effort, you see Gaffiatulin getting a little high five and a head slap from Joseph Dre. No quit. You got to battle. You're down 8. You're playing for your team. You're playing for your pride. And that starts with the bench and the leadership.
Should also mention Lyndon Palmer got the latest goal. He's got 4 points in this game. 1 tally and 3 apples. DeMumbrum, there he is. Number 9 in white at the point. Left side through traffic. Taking over is Kieran Ogle. Nice job in the middle of the ice by Brian. Short-handed, Justin Sterling. 18 to go in the Middle Tennessee power play. Palmer through the slot. Takes a look at his options. Siciliano is there. 4 goals and multiple other points on assists. Takes over with Kieran Ogle to Siciliano. Crawford challenged him and made the stop. Out of the box comes Renner. He's ready for it out of the doors. DeMumbrum defends. Trailing man Sterling. Couldn't get through Palmer. Tries to slap it out in front. Puck never got there. DeMumbrum as Palmer gets to it. Stolen by Buffard. Over top of the goal off the glass. DeMumbrum pressed to the boards by Flanagan. Time dwindling down. Steele to the low slot. At the last second, Fuller knocked off the puck. He'll try to rip one anyway. It went wide. Glove down by Buffard. Challenged emphatically. Siciliano on a good shift by the top line. For the power play, that's over. 3 for 5 on the night is Middle Tennessee State. Entering with speed, Dre cuts wide, shot to the net, wide of the blue crease. Graziati fights for it against Hawkins at the half wall. Placentia met off the doors and down the other 200-foot mark. Rogers looks for who's coming. It's Gaffiatulin. Out in front, somehow got there, and it scores! What a feed out in front. It was Hawkins, and I believe it was Rogers who will pick up the apple. It's 9-0 with 6:42 to go in this game.
Wow. As you see him come back to the bench, just shrugging his shoulders, Hawkins is like, I don't know. Obviously, that wasn't planned that way. Again, the hockey gods not in here for this UCF Knights team tonight.
No pun intended, Lewis, but for Middle Tennessee State, when it's your night, it's your night.
100%. They look terrific. They've earned it.
Game, set, match. Hawkins with a goal and an assist in this game. And he also assisted on the Rogers goal way back in the first. Time dwindling down in this quarterfinal game. Housed fights through defenders to the outside. Got it deeper. Yesnak pressed. Gaffiatulin is there. Fighting hard, Yesnak, to get the puck free. Help along the wall. Shimoni calls for it. Hawkins back out on the ice. Rather, that's Landers. Up against Shimoni. Slide it from the point. Look for the net. Whistled wide. House continues the pressure. Nice intercept by Pavanka behind the goal. Landers all over in front. Crawford, another nice stop. That time on House. He tries another one. It's blocked by Jackson. Stayed out of the neutral zone. Placentia just has to dump it, and Crawford will slow it down.
Beside the obvious word talented, what one word would you use to describe this MTSU team?
Relentless.
Exactly right. High five to you.
They do it.
Milk in a
every
dirty
period.
glass coming up for my partner. Absolutely relentless.
Well, J.J. Murray said it, and so did Matthew Siciliano. They look at it as 0-0 at the start of every period. Doesn't matter whether it's 9-0 or 1-0.
They play like it.
A strip by Brennan Ogle. Leads for Nick House the other way. Onside comes Aiden Suss. Look out. Oh, that's not good. The shoulder. DeMumbrum's hurt. He is feeling it. He got jammed along the half boards. He's going to be looked at. He'll sit down, and J.J. Murray is going to talk to him. 4:33 to go in this third period. We'll let you know of DeMumbrum if we see it further. Flanagan, hounded by Palmer. Overskating the puck is Javier Dowd. Joseph Dre to come back. He also overskated the puck. Siciliano with a chance on Crawford. Wasn't sure where the puck was, and it was finally steered out of harm's way by Dowd coming back. Taking over the alternate captain, Siciliano. Lewis, count up the points for us. 4 goals and a couple of others. I think he's your player of the game, no?
Oh, without a doubt. Just dominated the game from the very beginning.
Nice Chris Hill break to the net. Kopech challenged for the poke check. And
I'll tell you what.
Cover up.
If you want to give 3 stars of the game, you can give, believe it or not, Kopech a star. He's got a shutout going. He's made some really, really solid saves.
Now, you just said the forbidden word with 3:45 to go.
I didn't say it. It was Wes. Wes said it.
Oh, man. I can't tell you how many times I've said that word. And then
Something
just
happens.
totally opposite flip. I think it's like an 80-20 ratio of times that I've been on the wrong end of that and blamed. But
JJ won't talk to me tomorrow if that happens.
I'll blame the
Blame the camera guy. We got the backup camera guy in.
Florida
They got
guy.
the backup goalie for UCF.
There you go. Well, Kopech, he is that good. He's been when they've needed him to be. Albeit UCF has been in the back burner ever since the 1940 mark of the first. They scored 20 seconds in. The Blue Raiders shot. Another one goes wide. Back out in front. Jamming play. Okay, can't stuff it with Santiago and company. Flipped out to center. Nice job, Gaffiatulin coming back. Papinetti, steered aside by Crawford. Lema from the glass. Turnaround dump. Met there. Papinetti. Trying to get through defenders. Samuel Payne. Even numbers. Turnaround, Santiago. Off the boards, played by Gaffia-Tulin. Placencia. Gaffia-Tulin with a lane if he wants it. Kopech's got it and lets it play on. Placencia hounded by that defenseman out of Bridgewater, New Jersey. Racing the opposite wing. 2:18 left. Middle Tennessee will move on to tomorrow. They are going to play the winner of Tampa and South Carolina coming up next on the College Hockey South YouTube channel. Nice move to the outside and emphatically smothered from Colin Jackson's shot.
Yeah, that wasn't going in, but he stopped it anyway. And you see him getting some love from Renner or from Javier Dode. So here's my question to you. Who plays tomorrow, Kopech or Williams?
I mean, I think you want to go with the fresh guy. If he plays Kopech, that's maybe a sign that they want to see how he does with a tournament, with a couple of games in a row, because at Nationals, you're going to have to win 3 games in pool play, maybe 2 if you get a little bit of help from another squad.
Yeah.
And then a semifinal and then a national championship game, hopefully, for them. And I don't know if you can just go with one netminder that whole time, but you've certainly seen Kopech play back-to-backs before.
And
I think you would start Williams, though.
Yeah, I do too, just for the reason you said. You got 5 games in 5 days to get there, right? So it's a bloodbath. It's a war of attrition. But if you've got 2 goaltenders, the stats, stats on paper are one thing, but they're almost identical. And you saw how well Kopech played today.
It's not like UCF is rolling over. They put it on Alabama. They scored 9 goals themselves in a game where they had 2 different goal scorers with hat tricks. 1:09 is left. Shots are currently 60-40 in favor of Middle Tennessee State.
I was just going to say, UCF's got 40 shots, and they have been shut out.
They got 1 minute left to do something about that. The story of this game has been number 27 on the ice, Matt Siciliano. To my knowledge, he has 4 goals and an assist. Nice move to the net in front, and it sails high. That came from Nick Houst.
Crawford with one more save. Here's the good news. If you're a UCF Knights fan, you get a chance to regroup and come out and play tomorrow. You don't go home with this sour note.
Yeah, you never want to end your season in this way. And we'll wait to see who they play in the 7th place game. I'm not sure who that would be exactly off the top of my head. Here's Chunchikov, dangling for Schenk. He'll take a look. Nice blocker stop by Crawford and net. Sent out of the zone by Carson Mueller. Iced, and Kopech is gonna flip it away. Aiden Kopech this year himself has had one whale of a season. Lewis attested to it by his own right. Amazing. He'll have what could be his 3rd shutout of the season, or rather second, excuse me. Yep, Grant Williams has 2 to his name. And like Lewis just talked about with me, we could see him tomorrow. We'll find out on the College Hockey South YouTube page. But this day will belong to Middle Tennessee State. Last attempt by UCF. 7 seconds to go. Domination from the number 1 team in the conference. Icing, but they might as well let it run out. And Brady Palmer says, come on, guys, let's get this done with.
You would think so.
I don't blame you. An impressive showing. 4 goals from Siciliano. Chunchikov added a couple, along with a number of other guys. Rogers, Hawkins, and company. Middle Tennessee State is going to the semifinal, and Aiden Kopech earns himself a 41-save shutout.
Just terrific play. 60-plus shots on top of the UCF netminders. Lopsided ice. I mean, Siciliano, he just makes that team go and everybody goes with him. It's not like he's carrying the team all by himself. There's so many other players. It starts on the bench, then you look at the goaltending, and then you just see that transition game. This Blue Raiders team, they are going to be fun to watch. You and I will get to see them in St. Louis also.
Yeah, we'll have that one for you at the national tournament. This Middle Tennessee State will be bound as the number 2 team currently. Things could change, though, depending on what happens with Calvin this weekend in the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference. But final shots coming in, Middle Tennessee State 62. We're going to say roughly Drake Crawford and got more looks than Andrew Cass, who was pulled in relief late in the first period. It's a 9-0 shutout. UCF, though, will play tomorrow. We presume the 7th place game. You can catch that on College Hockey South as well. And check our social media page and the website for the updated standings following the day. But for now, we're going to get ready to sign off here. Connor Stein is somewhere below. And Connor, do you have us? On the ice, he's caught up with a Middle Tennessee State player, the captain, Lyndon Palmer.
Mitch.
Thanks, guys. Here with Captain Lyndon Palmer. What kind of went into this game from the leadership aspect? I mean, a dominant win, but how'd you kind of stay level-headed in terms of leadership?
Yeah, slow start to the semester. We lost 2 to Liberty, lost 1 to South Carolina, so we knew that we had something to prove coming here, and we played a full 60 minutes tonight, which that's what we've been preaching all season, playing a full 60. So the score resembles the effort that the guys put in.
Yeah, and obviously tournament setting. How do you feel going into the rest of the tournament with obviously a new feel playing back-to-back games?
Yeah, we did it last year. Nationals, we know, was a grind, so it's really just getting mentally focused for a 3-day stretch, as well as physically, taking care of your body, eating the right stuff. So the guys are ready for it. They live for this, so I'm excited to see what the next 2 games bring.
And then offensively, how do you guys seem to do the same thing in harder opponents? How do you do that?
Just stick to our game. We know what we're capable of. We average, 5-6 goals a game. So relying on our D, relying on our goaltending, and then obviously we know that we can score, so just sticking to our own game.
Thank you so much, Lyndon. Thank you. Guys?
Thank you, Connor. Some great words from the captain, Lyndon Palmer. Staying level-headed will be the name of the game. And last word, Lewis DePaulo, as we get ready to sign off. Such interesting words there. They got beat by an AAU Liberty squad and then split with South Carolina. And to his word, left a bad taste in their mouth. And they proved to everybody they are as good as advertised.
They're so focused. They're on a mission. They're following the lead of JJ. They are going to be something to watch, not just tomorrow, not just Sunday, but in St. Louis too. Great group of kids. Love the program. Stay tuned for more College Hockey South. This MTSU team, they will be something to be reckoned with in St. Louis.
They'll join in the semifinal of this playoff. USF and FGCU will both play each other, and then this team takes on the winner of coming up next, Tampa and South Carolina, the 4 and the 5 seeds doing battle. And as Lewis mentioned, March 18th through the 22nd, the ACHA National Tournament presented on Flow Hockey from the Centene Community Ice Center, Maryland Heights, Missouri. But for our entire production team, we're going to get ready to sign off. Our cameraman, Ethan Nalvin, analyst down below the glass, Connor Stein, great job by him. Our producer, Mitch Liswith, color commentator, Louis DePaulo. My name is Devin Serra. Thank you all so much for watching this presentation of the College Hockey South playoffs. Final score, Middle Tennessee 9, UCF 0. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your